Sir Paul has to reassure Nancy. Speaking to Gordon Smart on the Radio X evening show at his studio in Surrey, the former Beatle said of the track, "I just got the little opening riff. It started to give me this idea of like a pickup thing that would have happened in the 1960s, before clearly realizing wife of 7 years Nancy Shevell is in the vicinity and adding with tongue firmly planted and cheek no doubt. It wouldn't happen now, because I'm happily married, Nancy, did you hear that?" He then goes on to clarify that the song is of course referring to a time more than half a century ago, in the 1960s, you know. "I just imagine the scene which would be at a party somewhere and you see this great girl. And she gives you a look, and so, you know, the opening line is I saw you flash a smile. It seemed to me to say that you wanted so much more than casual conversation. It's basically just talking to this girl who I fancy at a party." Let's hope 58-year-old Nancy's the type to just let it be. Gordon hosts the Radio X evening show from Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. and Smart on Sunday between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Former X Factor host Carolyn Flack says Simon Cowell promised big but delivered small when she worked for him. The 38-year-old was offered presenting gigs on both The X Factor and Love Island back in 2015 and took on both when talent show boss Simon said he'd make it easy for her to do so. "My agent offered me The X Factor to do the main show and the other one was Love Island. I said, I can't not do The X Factor, and I said I am not going to do Love Island. We worked it out and I begged Simon and he promised me a jet to go back and forth." However, while Carolyn clearly had a luxury airliner in mind, Simon had a different idea. It turned into a 4 a.m. EasyJet flight from Manchester. Technically though, he did keep his word. Opera singer Danielle Denise loathes her 2-year-old son Buckus being subjected to negative female stereotypes, singling out the opera singer and Thomas the Tank Engine as the prime culprit. "Alicia Body is my nemesis but my son absolutely loves her," the 39-year-old, who is presenting documentary Unsung Heroes, The Lost World of Female Composers, which airs on BBC4 this Friday, tells Day and Night. She has her hair pulled up in a point and walks around with her chest out and breaks windows when she sings. "She's a terrible stereotype of a female opera singer and I don't really want him subscribing to that. I ask him who his favorite opera singer is and he says me, but you can guess who he says his number 2 is." Roseanne set to allow spin-off show Disgraced. Roseanne Barr is reportedly in talks to help cast and crew keep their jobs by distancing herself from projects linked to her axed sitcom. The actress, who was fired from the hit comedy named after her for making a racist remark on social media about former advisor to President Obama, Valerie Jarrett, is said to be in negotiations with U.S. network ABC over a project based on her show, which was cancelled in the aftermath of her comments. A source said, "The key has been how a show can be done where Roseanne neither participates nor profits. She has agreed, at least in theory, to forego any creative or financial involvement in the spin-off to help save the cast and crew jobs." The 65-year-old would most likely have to waive her financial rights to the potential series, which would focus on Sarah Gilbert's character, Darlene Connor, the daughter of Roseanne. Former Desperate Housewife Eva Longoria has given birth to her first child. The actress announced that she had given birth to a baby boy on Tuesday in L.A. The 43-year-old and her husband, Jose Antonio Pepe Baston, 50, who have named the tot Santiago, confirmed his birth in a statement. "We are so grateful for this beautiful blessing," they announced. The couple also shared a photograph of Eva holding the infant on her chest and another one of her sporting a necklace featuring his name. Eva celebrated the upcoming arrival of her son at a star-studded party in May, with the likes of Elizabeth Banks, Sophia Bush, Melanie Griffith, and her former Desperate Housewives co-star Marcia Cross, in attendance. He may have the most listened to song on Spotify, but Ed Sheeran doesn't use the service. The singer, who has given the streaming site permission to showcase his songs and gets more than a pretty penny in return, favors the old-fashioned platforms to discover new artists. "I don't use Spotify or Apple Music," he told host Dermot O'Leary at a charity fundraiser for the London Irish Centre, where he auctioned off his guitar for £20,000. "I literally go on what people give me, like CDs, or I'd listen to the radio. I listen to radio too a lot. I just go off recommendations. It usually takes 3 people to get me to listen to something. Hit single Shape of You has racked up almost 1.8 billion streams on Spotify since its release in January 2017. It appears multi-millionaire Ed is now in a position to bite the hand that feeds him.